All right, so we got that thing sand down prep, and I went ahead and found some little pieces of like 1/2 by 1/2 angle iron I had. I already had those cut that length, but what I ended up doing is welding a nut, a 1/4 20 bolt here with a nut on it, so I got a little more welding surface, and I just need to come back and like snug these down. But basically they're not really going to go too far. I've got it kind of locked in down there. So I got this a way out to hopefully I can get my paint gun in there pretty good, and then here will be the only tricky part, but I'll be able to come in from here. I mean, obviously I can't blast on the side of that. You can see where I hung a run right there, and then over here trying to get some epoxy down in there. Over there's a run somewhere. Anyway, you just can't spray around a corner obviously, but I tried to hose as much epoxy and whatnot and primer back in there as I could when I was spraying it. I don't mind running the epoxy, but anyway, well, this way I can do both sides of this at the same time. Then I'll have to come back and masking tape all this off and then spray our Wimbledon white on this here, but that way it just kind of gets everything up and away and have the minimal amount of stuff for me to get in the way while I'm spraying. Same way I usually hang these, I'll throw a 1/4 inch, or I think that's 5/16 bolt out this hole right here, kind of like we did when we primered it. I think this bolt's still in there, yeah. What I do is I run a washer here, run a piece of wire out to my big frame, and I let that thing hang there. Or I'll spray it on this. I'm not sure like that yet. I haven't quite came up with that idea. I could spray the clear a lot smoother there, but in the air, you have less chance of stuff actually landing in it. So it's kind of always a toss up, and I'm not painting in the cleanest spot. All that van we did a while back came out really clean. It was white. So I was pretty impressed. If I spend the time and clean it, it actually does pretty good. So I got the glove box ashtray done, and yeah, that's pretty much it on the Bronco stuff for now. I'm trying to debate on getting this stuff painted. I could just get it back to fill out where you could put the headlights and the grill and the marker lights and get the wiring and everything figured out in this door hood striker, get the tailgate on, I gotta get a bed liner kit, so that's the next thing to buy, and then I need to paint that and buff it before bed liner. But that's something we could do. At least we can get those painted, get those out of the way. I need to go pick up a bed liner kit and some Wimbledon white, and then that'll be one step closer to getting this thing the heck out of here, which we've got about a month still, and I still got to do the top. So it is what it is. We'll keep trucking on this, and I'll keep you guys up to date.
I will not be compliant. If you push, I'm defiant. Just try it. It is bound to get violent when you walk this way.
We've got the tailgate sitting here all taped. Got the shop blew out really good, clean, hose down, water down, blew out again. The heater on. We got the gas door hanging. I taped this off in case anything blew in there. Kind of just tape this off, and they'll do it all around here. And I think that there's enough room for me to get the paint gun in here and kind of fan down and blow some paint through at the back side of that. I'm not as worried as trying to do the front of this super nice. Now I got it facing this way. My theory is if anything's getting pulled through the shop, hopefully it'll land on the back side and not the front side where we really don't want any kind of funky stuff. On the back you wouldn't really see. I don't want anything gross back there anyway, but out of the two I'll take this. This I'm in the air on. I'm gonna lay it down. I have a lot better time spraying flat rather than hanging it up here, especially with that glazer. The post flow on that stuff's pretty wild. Green again here, and then that will get us really close into our Wimbledon or our modified boxwood green, and then we're gonna back tape that off. I gotta go to the paint store and grab some Wimbledon white. I got a little bit of Valspar, but I want to do it in Diamond because that's what we quoted them, and I like Diamond a lot better. So I'm gonna get that sealed, let it sit for about an hour, and then kind of let it gas off, do its thing, double check, make sure I don't need to fix anything, and then bust it with and then blast our Wimbledon, our boxwood on it, let that flash, tape off Wimbledon, and then clear the whole thing. So that's the plan. Let me get some sealer mixed up, let me get suited up, and then we'll get some paint blasted on this thing.
I won't stop until you're down in your grave with a couple of your friends to keep you company. At the moment's notice, I'll be swinging the blade, saying, look at this beautiful mess I made.
Okay, well, we got first coat of sealer on this, or 2 coats of sealer on this. Sealer on this. And I ran back over the tack rag, but I see something right there. I have to grab a tack rag and touch that up right there. Try to pick that little booger off there. It might have came off the tack rag, I don't know. Sometimes kind of what a tack rag's for. Just get all those little chunks of stuff off there. But anyway, so I got that sealed. I ran out of green sealer and I had a little bit of, and before I used every last bit of my green sealer, I threw a little bit of white in there and it really whitened it out. Kind of turned it to kind of like a real pea-ish green. A real light green, but that's okay. We kind of went from that. But we got it all uniform. We're using the sealer to get a uniform texture and also hide any scratches that are in there. Those 320, 400 scratches, 500, whatever you finish sand it, that will also help sand those out. And then if you've got any breakthroughs, like where you had the epoxy and the primer or anything like that, it'll also seal all that off. And then basically seal from your epoxy to your body filler to your primer sealer. It encapsulates, sandwiches that all in, and then we do our base and our clear. So that being said, next step is the green, which I ran, but I ran and grabbed some Wimbledon white. For that we are using the Diamond. It's not cheap, but it covers about twice as good as the other stuff. It's about $300 a quart, $280, so it's not the cheapest stuff, but it covers like a rug. So we're going to use our Glaser at 109 on our clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up a little bit more of this green, and then we're going to spray the outside of the grill shell and then do the tailgate. And we'll let that sit, and then we'll come back, tape that off, spray the inside of the grill with our Wimbledon, and then clear everything all together.
Stop until you're down in your grave with a couple of your friends to keep you company. At the moment's notice, I'll be swinging the blade, saying, look at this beautiful mess I made.
Alright, so we got that thing based in our Wimbledon white, our blue line taped in between our holes, and then came back with 3/4 taped halfway on that blue line. So then I know I've got a lot of overlap, and then came back with some 18-inch paper and basically just kind of bagged it, kind of papered it back this way, flipped this thing around so all my overspray was going back behind it. And now, since this thing was, I literally had tape each and every one of those, sometimes it leaves us a little bit of the tape. It peels, the paint will peel off of the tape versus the metal sometimes, and you get little hairs. And then I got a little bit of a white overspray dust. It's just going to happen. I mean, you just can only tape those so tight. So basically what I'm going to do is just going to try to, if I got a little bit of overspray there, kind of like here, like a brand new tack rag, just kind of tacking this thing all down. You can kind of see, oops, I'm going to be beating the crap out of that thing. You can kind of see a little white overspray right there. The basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to try to get that little bit of overspray off there. This is kind of talking about that tape stuff. My camera picked that up. Sometimes you can take a tack rag and kind of clean that up a little bit. So that's all I'm going to do. Can't really do that with my camera in my hand. I got the door, the ashtray, that. I think that's going to be a pretty cool contrast with that ugly green with that kind of really weird off-white. It's kind of a weird color green. That's the boxwood green lightened up a little bit, and then just a standard color on the Wimbledon. So I'm gonna get this thing all tacked up, mix up some clear and get some clear on this, because it is about 10 after 5 o'clock. So try to get some clear on this thing. Well, dang it. I gave that thing about 30 minutes to kick off, or about 25 minutes or so, 25 minutes. I put the paint gun upside down next to my Infotech, but a ways a little way because it's been kind of cool back here. It doesn't get as warm, so what I usually do is I'll throw my Infotech here. I run it about out here somewhere, probably like that. So this stuff can stay kind of warm. This stuff will absorb a bunch of heat, and anytime you're painting with warm materials, it just really makes a big difference. As far as like just kicking and everything, everything flows out better. So I had that there, but I threw my gun upside down. Well, this one here with a one of these cups. And basically what happened was, I think since I had that sitting upside down where this was in the air, this side got hot and actually started to kick off some of that clear, probably because it was just so thin. And then as that cup's upside down, it's literally like washing off or flowing out or coming off that cap. I think that cap kicked, and then some of that unfortunately was on the bottom side of the filter, so it went straight in the gun and blew some of that clear into my paint right here. You can see I kind of tried to flood it out a little bit. It's just clear, there's no dark chunks. I didn't get anything in the Ford, thank goodness, because I can wet sand in here. But man, look at that, it laid out so nice other than that bunch of those chunks of shit blowing in there. So I'm really happy with the way that flowed out. I'm just not real happy with it having chunks of paint blowing there. So I saw that, I stopped, I ran there, grabbed my other gun, threw in my old trusty DeVilbiss that I've had forever, even though it was spraying kind of like spotty almost a little bit, kind of try to tighten the tip on it, and I don't know. Anyways, I got another coat. I got 2 good heavy coats on that and 2 good heavy coats on this grill. This grill doesn't have, I'm not going to need much cutting and buffing on it. There's just a couple dibbers in it. I got a little bit of a sag there, probably from trying to get this edge, and then a little sagger down in here. Oh, that's more than a little sag, isn't it? That's a good old-fashioned run right there. But I think it was just from trying to get all in here. But other than that, everything looks pretty good. We got the back side of that cleared where the core support sits right here, so you really only see down through here. So I think that's all going to look good. Had a little bit of that overspray touched up, but all in all, I am going to just get out of here, out of this room anyway. I'm just going to let the fans run. I got the door kicked open a little bit more, get some of the overspray out, which honestly it's pretty much out now. I don't know how dirty this thing is. If it looks, there's a little bit of dust on that, but it's actually flowed out pretty good. That fan really actually works pretty darn good. So anyway, I'm just gonna let that sit for probably another 20-30 minutes. I'm gonna go hang out in the office where I can get some fresh air. I'm gonna open this up too, get a little side draft going in here. Basically goes into the back room with the back door is open, so it'll kind of blow a little bit of the it's cold air, but at least it'll help blow some of the fumes out and get out the exhaust. So pretty happy with the way that flowed out. It's surprisingly clean considering where we're painting, except for clear blew out. So out of the 2, I'd much rather have it happen at Tailgate because I can wet sand and polish. If it happened to grill, we'd really be SOL. Probably redoing that, and I put way more work into that grill doing a 2-tone on it. So once again, we used our Glazerite, Diamonds, Tenable sealers, and then we're just gonna kind of leave this mess here. I'm gonna clean it up and then get the heck out of here in a few minutes. Let that kind of flash off and get some kick off a little bit because it's gonna get cold tonight, so I want to get some heat on it, and then I will probably be back tomorrow working on next time we're on that Bronco. We will wet sand the tailgate. Hopefully, I'm about 95% sure I can get those chunks out because it's just clear. So hopefully, like, it's just a little kicked off clear. So hopefully it'll flow out and not have any issues. And yeah, all in all, hopefully it works. Otherwise, we'll be re-clearing. Anyway, if you like this type of stuff, like us, subscribe, comment below. Remember, you got there, create something that you that sucks. Peace.